We asked you what our guilty pleasure music is. I unironically enjoy Fall Out Boy.
He does. I get really excited about funny thing, Taking Back Sunday is my answer.
He does.
I do. But what I love about Taking Back Sunday is that on multiple occasions I've been at a bar with friends, and there will be people who look like they're probably dogs peoples. They'll look like they're trying to be the coolest cats in the bar, and then one of them will go up to the jukebox, and immediately as soon as Taking Back Sunday songs start playing, like a chorus, all of them are singing every word, and I walk over and I'm singing it with them, and I make a whole bunch of friends because I know all the words too.
We asked you what our favorite Disney characters are. Mine is Figment the Purple Dragon because he is an embodiment of imagination, and that's neat.
Ever since Star Wars fell underneath the umbrella of Disney,
cop out.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, I will come up with another Disney character, but you said any Disney character.
Too late.
I was
it's
like,
on the list,
Boba
man.
Fett's a badass.
No, he's not.
I know that Adam is a very anti-Boba Fett, but that's because Adam doesn't like joy.
No.
And Boba Fett's awesome.
It's apparently because I haven't seen the Clone Wars cartoon, because they did some fan service and actually gave him a backstory in that. And made him interesting.
Badass. It's cool to like things, Adam.
I know, that's fine. It's also fine to disagree because he got, he got hit once and died like a bitch.
You know what? He got eaten by one of the biggest, scariest monsters in the galaxy.
Oh, until they retconned that.
That's because he crawled out because he's so badass.
Sure.
He crawled out.
That doesn't make sense. Like, based on how that thing is pictured, that doesn't make any sense.
Dude's got armor, man, and a jetpack.
But, of course, the Sarlacc never made sense, because it's just like, you'll be slowly digested over 1,000 years.
The Sarlacc doesn't make sense.
You'll die of old age in the fucking Sarlacc, so really...
I think you'll starve to death, actually.
If you had... Well, yeah, that's true. Well, actually, no. Depending on, it's probably eaten a lot of other things.
We should put 30 minutes into arguing the Sarlacc. Not right now, though, because that should be fun.
Okay.
Fans, if you decide you want us to argue the Sarlacc for 30 minutes or something weird like that, go ahead and comment below.
Well, I mean, we're going to record it, We should just do that now, and I'll just edit it to the end or something. We asked you guys what we want our last words to be. I imagine mine, if I have it my way, they will be a pun of some sort. Something about pushing up Daisy, some death-related pun, probably. Or just an unrelated pun, because, yeah, puns are great.
I want my last words to be as I choke through the blood pooling in my throat. Don't forget to check the stove.
And actually, now that we've had a little bit more time to think about it since we asked this question, I want mine to be Boba Fett died like a bitch. We asked you guys what our favorite juice is. Mine is grapefruit.
Mine's apple.
We asked you if we had to choose a limb, and really Corwin asked you this. If we had to choose a limb to lose, which one would we pick? Because Corwin's insane, and I chose my right arm because I'm left-handed.
I chose my right leg. I'm right-handed, but I figured that if I was going to replace a leg, I'd want it to be that leg, and I'd replace it with one of those cool crowbar things, like the guy from Half-Life 2.
We asked you what our spirit animals are. Mine is an orangutan because they're just cool. It's this ephemeral sort of meaning. I don't know why they're so cool, but they just are. I can't put it into words. It's ineffable.
In the attempts to oppress a girl as a teenager, I went through a spirit animal vision quest, and I came up with the answer mammoth.
Did you take a lot of peyote before you did that?
I will confirm or deny.
Otherwise, it doesn't count as a...
I'm not going to say it was an official one. It was a, child version.
Okay. Children's peyote. You got it in grape flavor.
It came as little Pooh Bear on it, and Pooh Bear is tripping balls.
Oh, it's like the gummy peyote.
Take two. Unless you want a handful, which it's not going to hurt you. Take all of them.
Call them groovy bears.
Groove bears.
Here's another Corwin question. We asked you what our favorite scent in a room was. Mine's just a touch of mint. Just is that mint or am I imagining it? Well, yeah, I think that's mint. That's nice.
I genuinely love the smell of, not pine sol, pine, as in, Christmas trees.
The tree.
That Christmas tree smell.
Presumably the tree came first, so I would
so.
hope that everyone would know that you mean the tree.
But there's one person watching right now going, boy likes Pine Sol? Pine Sol's gross. And I'm like, no, asshole, in
Texas.
Arkansas, New Jersey, Nebraska. The answer is
That was a pretty
pine.
solid Texas accent. We asked you what our favorite comfort food is. Shout out to Fiber Optic for getting mine correct. It is paprikash, the Hungarian delicacy, the fucking manna from heaven that
Dude,
is
I like
paprikash.
pizza.
Yeah. We asked you where we got our first pet of the harem of pets that we own right now. Mine was Whiskey, my dog. We got her down at a pet store down in Athens, Ohio, back when Jen still went to school down there.
We rescued a kitten named Helena from Lakewood Animal Shelter down in the Metro Parks. When we went to go, Cat found her online, and when we went to go actually see her, she was doing somersaults in her cage trying to get our attention. And there was just no way we could leave without she put so much effort in. We had to take her.
Sounds about right. We asked you where we got our second pet. That would be my cat Ziggy. Jen's roommate Kim, also down at OU, left a can of tuna out for a stray, and, you know, it was vastly against their lease to have any pets in the house, but we came down to help them pack up and, like, start to move out and whatnot, and there was a cat there, and then we wound up with a cat.
I know how that goes.
Yep.
My second cat, his name is Titan. We call him Sergeant Gumdrops, Tubby Long Whiskers, Tubbs. Any form of that is generally what we call him around the house because he is a big old fat cat. When we got him at an animal shelter, it was another couple looking at him, and he was like really squirmy and didn't want to be in their arms. They put it back in the cage, and when I picked him up, he just laid across me. It was like really, really cozy, and I was just like, yeah, I can't put him down. We're taking him home.
We asked you where we got our third pet, which is my cat Schrodinger. So this story starts with us sitting inside watching some TV, and then we hear some voices out front. This is back when I still lived with my parents.
And he understood cat.
No, we heard some voices, and I opened the door to see some of the neighborhood kids, and they see me, and I see them, and then they turn around and run away. And they ran back to their yard, which was, they were from across the street. I go outside and I'm just like, guys, it's like, I'm not a real adult. You're not in trouble. What's going on? Because, you know, they were in our front yard. And apparently they were about that. And all I get from them is that your cat? And I'm just like, oh, no. And we found 3 little kittens under the bush out under the hedge in front of my parents' house, and proceeded to use a have a heart trap to catch each one because the mother was long gone at this point. So we obtained each of the felines and got them contained in one of the rooms in my parents' house. Slowly but surely found friends to adopt 2 of them, and like as we were going through and like we were, you know, taking care of these kittens, and they were not people friendly. Like we had to wear like long rubber gloves to keep ourselves from being just torn to shit, just to like put food into the box we had them in. And it was some interesting stuff going on there. The smallest of the group was a little tuxedo kitten, and we, like, one of them we got adopted out relatively quickly. The other one, there was like a waiting period where the person who was adopting them actually like wasn't sure if she was going to be able. This is that's Christina adopted. Okay. Yeah. Wasn't sure if she was going to be able to take him. The reason I mentioned that is she's a viewer. Hi,
Christina.
I'm talking to the internet too, not just to Corwin. So there was like some waiting period there, and in that waiting period, we're just like, Jen and I finally just looked at each other one day, and we're just like, if we are able to adopt out 2 of them, and one is still left, we're keeping that one. Like, and we just decided, and we wound up with little Schrodinger, and he was the smallest of the group, and like the run of the litter, and he's just the best.
I want to point out that I think Schrodinger's a really great name for a cat.
it's fitting because he disappears whenever people come around. So there are a number of people who don't believe he exists, which
That's
is
true.
somewhat Schrodinger related, if you know the physics thing.
My third pet was Sebastian. Sebastian is a Welsh corgi purebred that we rescued from a very fake dog breeder. I had always loved corgis. I grew up with corgis from my grandmother, and I was obsessed with them. Then they started getting really internet famous, and that was pretty cool. Sebastian Ein Arvin was what I wanted to name my very first corgi, and then the second one was going to be Reginald, and I had forgot what I was going to name the middle part, but he was going to be Reginald Arvin. One day I'm just trolling the internet, I'm just bored and looking, and I find a corgi, an adult corgi named Sebastian who needed a home, and it was really shocking because all corgis are like $1,000 at least for like a corgi puppy because they're special breed, and they were just asking for a couple $100 and they'd give us a bunch of stuff to take care of the dog. I jokingly passed this information on to Kat, secretly kind of hoping, but didn't think it was going to happen. She reached out to the person to figure it out and then told me, hey, we're going to go get him. And I was amazed. When we got there, we discovered really quickly that he was in a really bad situation. This woman who was the dog breeder was a fucking moron. He was an adult small dog that was being fed puppy food for large dogs. He was heavily overweight. He was really dirty. We could tell immediately all of his teeth were just rotted in his mouth. So we gave her whatever the fuck she wanted and got that dog into our car and took off and never looked back. Sebastian, a couple years, about 2 years now at this point, we discovered had a type of lymphoma, and we fought it for 2 years, but we lost him about a month ago. He was an amazing dog. We miss him a lot. Fourth pet.
Yeah, we asked you guys where we got our fourth pet. This was our dog Scout, and it's from the local animal shelter where Jen volunteers. It's where the rule came from, where Jen's not allowed to send me pictures from the shelter anymore because she that was already like a soft rule that she was supposed to follow. But then she sent me a picture of this dog, and then a picture of her holding this dog like this over her shoulder, and yeah, like I couldn't.
She knew what she was doing when she sent you
Of
those
course she
pictures.
did. She's evil. How about you, Corwin?
That would be Nico. Nico is a solid black cat. My fiance has a special place in her heart for black cats. They get abused and are most likely to not be adopted. People have an issue with black cats, and she thinks they're amazing. And I agree. We've had several black cats over the years. We've had 2 black cats over the years, and they both have been some of the most amazing animals. Nico is ridiculously crazy and excitable. She shows up. I'm in my office, and she's like, "Hey." So the neighbor dogs, yeah, I knew what was going on.
You know that, hey.
Apparently, this little tiny black kitten had gotten to the neighbor's backyard, and they've got very vicious dogs. I don't want to say vicious; they're good dogs, but they're vicious dogs. They'll tear up any small animal that they find back there. They've done it many times. The woman who owns those dogs saw the kitten before the dogs did, and definitely rescued that kitten. And then Kat was there, and Kat took the kitten, and she took him inside and put him in my office, and for 2 months while we finished testing to make sure he was healthy, he lived in my office as my office cat until finally being let loose into the rest of the house with the other cats.
We asked you what our least favorite chore was. I absolutely hate doing laundry, most notably folding laundry. I feel like it is the most depressing chore imaginable. I can't explain why, but I just I start folding clothes and I'm just like, I mean, I could keep doing this, or I could take a bunch of pills. Like that's
you just end it all right now.
I could just end it. That's an option. Or, just keep folding these underwear, and that's something, I guess. Gotta wear underwear.
I've never folded underwear.
What are you, an animal?
Yeah, dude, it's underwear. I'm just gonna put it on my junk, guard my junk, and then move on.
So what do you do with your clean underwear? Do you just
shove them in a box?
In a box?
Well, all right, hamper.
You keep clean laundry in a hamper?
Well, the hamper gets next to the where the dresser is, And then I end up just kind of going into the hamper instead of into the dresser.
Okay, guys, we're gonna have another half-hour diverge here, where we talk about how Corwin is a trash monster.
I know why I know I'm wrong. I'm just my least favorite chore is dishes. Dishes is really easy, but for 2 years I worked for a really shitty restaurant as a dishwasher when I was a teenager, and nothing just makes me angrier than doing dishes because that job is so bad.
I just thought you applied the same logic to dishes that you do to underwear. It's just like,
I just throw them in a box.
Just lick it off. It's reusable.
It's food, right? Food's food. Duh. Oh, God, my stomach hurt thinking even saying that.
And that's all we got for you today. If you like the channel, subscribe. If you have friends who would like the channel, share the videos around.
If you don't like the channel, subscribe.
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? Like, you know, you might like us individually or something. I don't know.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Anyway, so the Sarlacc, I think he would be able to survive because there are presumably a ton of other people down there that are slowly being digested over 1,000 years. So, like that pig guard that fell in before him, you could eat that guy.
Then they would be dead, and it would be slowly, like when you eat something.
You can build a fire down there.
If there's wood, if it's moist down there, which it might be.
He has a jetpack. He can definitely build a fire. He can cook food.
But with a jetpack, he can just blast out. You don't eat a hot dog, and the hot dog has a jetpack. It's
like the hole was like very small, and there was in the special edition they put a beak in there.
Beak. Yeah, he can blast out.
No, there's a beak. He closes the beak.
He punch the beak open.
You don't know how anatomy works.
You have a rocket. You could blow a hole through its mouth.
He didn't have the rocket in the original trilogy.
He's got a flamethrower. He could burn.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
In the original trilogy?
Yes, he did.
Didn't he use it?
I don't believe that we have a proper understanding about the amount of flame that could be used.
I believe I do.
If it's anything about it, could be space flames made from a chemical that a small vial could last you hours and hours and hours.
Now you're just making things up.
That's because it's science fiction in a fantasy science fiction setting.
It's not science fiction. Let's get that fucking out the window right now. It is science fantasy, which is why you're like, I'm actually arguing against myself right now by solidly saying it is science fantasy. So yes, maybe he has magic space fluid.
Maybe he does. I mean, they've got magic space, just Jedi stuff.
So then why didn't he just fly out right away?
The dude got hit in the head. He probably blacked out for a couple hours.
He got hit in the back of the... He got hit in his back.
Yeah, but that's where his head is.
Oh, but he got hit in the back and it shorted out his jetpack. That's why. So he couldn't get out.
Not with a jetpack. But with the flame and determination of a Mandalorian, I think that anything is possible.
Okay, so the inside of the Sarlacc, it's been pictured before. It's like a giant cave, like big drop and hole in the middle.
Okay.
How is he getting out of there without
grappling hook?
He doesn't have a grappling hook.
Grappling hook is a standard part of the bounty hunter armor getup.
Okay, what source is that from?
That would actually be from the Bounty Hunter's Handbook, which I lent out to my buddy, and I can get back for you if you want to see it.
Is it canon?
It came out after Disney bought it, along with a bunch of other merchandise when they started pushing the MMO.
Okay. I'm going
also, the book has a lot of really interesting side notes by Boba Fett himself in it.
I am going to make a statement right now.
He's going to make a statement.
And say that... Okay, I started this by saying I haven't seen the Clone Wars, so I do not have the background in the retconning. My source is where you see him die like a bitch. In that scene, he has no grappling hook.
In that scene, he has no grappling hook. Or he has one that we didn't see him use.
Well, grappling hooks are relatively big, and he has most of his accoutrement on the outside of his
I would argue in most science fiction.
Did he just keistered it?
It was actually it's in his arm thing.
Is it magic fluid that turns into a grappling hook?
I believe I've seen him use the grappling hook in the really crappy prequels trilogy. Actually, I'm positive that he did.
What movies are you talking about?
Episode 1, 2, and 3.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Point. All right. Anyway, we can agree to disagree on the epicness of Boba Fett. It's totally acceptable.
I was just arguing, honestly. That's
I'm happy to argue about this if you want to keep going, but I don't know if I can really. I think I was over exaggerating. I said 30 minutes on the Sarlacc. Like, we can argue about all kinds of stuff, but maybe not 30 on the Sarlacc. Maybe 10.
I don't know how long we've been going. I think we can. I'm not done yet. But anyway. Well, since this might be its own video, bye everybody.
Bye everybody.